So, over 5 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Something that, you've curated massively.
Yeah.
How have you been able to turn social media following into, real tangible business for yourself?
Social media changed my life. It gave me an opportunity to take care of my family, and on top of that, it gave a lot of us guys a voice who didn't have a voice before social media. So a lot of us who didn't have a way to put our voice out there, social media did that for us.
Now, there's a story of perseverance, man. Like, we've seen a lot of people do sketch comedy. We've seen a lot of people do stand-up comedy on the internet.
Yep.
Most people can't transition into making it a successful career.
Right.
I saw a clip where you said that you have 4 million followers, but you weren't making any money.
Right.
Talk about that journey, because most people think social media, instant gratification, I'm going to get it now, I'm going to do it now.
Yep.
Talk about that process of, like, I'm gaining followers, but ain't no business coming behind it.
The thing with that is, like, the fame came before the money came. Like, I ain't had no money. Like, I was in my mama's basement with 4 million followers, and I was famous, but I ain't had no money. She was like, it's time to go get a job. Like, my mama already famous. I can't be working at KFC. They're going to be like, can I get a picture? Or I got to holler one of my catchphrases. But at that time, you know what I'm saying?
of the month.
Yeah, but people don't understand, like, a lot of times you get the fame before you get the money, and that's what happened with my career. I had people that loved me across the world, but I didn't have no money in my bank account. You know what I'm saying?
Make some noise for Vezo. Just walked in. I swear, Vezo.
Yeah.
Love, bro.
The legend himself.
Detroit's own. So, my question's for you, bro. Let's talk about the music side. This is United Masters. They always talk about music independence, right?
Yeah.
So, talk about you and your journey, owning your masters, different things of that nature.
I've been rapping for a long time, since I was a shorty. You know what I'm saying? It took me a long time to get known, but it took me even more of a longer time to get some money in my pocket. You know what I mean? And what contributed to that was me being able to make the decisions that I wanted to make with my music. You know what I'm saying? That come with owning your masters and owning your catalog overall. It don't even matter how old a song is. You can sell your entire catalog full of songs that's 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? That's actually how I got my first $1 million, bro. I sold a bunch of songs, like all my old catalog, for $1 million. That's when I seen my first M. You know what I mean? So even coming up in the game or whatever, I knew it was important to own my music and to own my masters and be able to make the decisions. I just didn't know the significance of it, like how far I could go with that. And I seen firsthand, you know what I mean? So I think that is important when you making music and you catch a buzz, you catch a wave, make sure you keep that. That's extremely important. It's gonna come in handy. You know what I mean? It did for me, and I know it do for a lot of other artists.
Yeah, let's talk about the city of Detroit, man. Y'all both from here. And a lot of times in entertainment, I mean, we come from New York, so people say, yeah, you got to go to a big city to do it, right? Especially in comedy, definitely entertainment. It's like, we got to make it big in New York, or we got to make it big in L.A. Y'all have managed to keep this loyalty to this beautiful city. Talk about being successful where you are and then translate into the world.
Definitely. For me, I think, like, Detroit just a hustling city. We just learn how to hustle for real.
2 people clap. She's one of them. She's a hustler.
Yeah, like, Detroit is a hustling city, and like Vezo, like, he a real entrepreneur, and he always giving back. He always doing the philanthropy part of it. So that's very important. Doing the philanthropy part of this. You know what I mean? I feel like that's why you able to come home and always receive that love, because of the simple fact he always giving back. So I think it's really just the hustling side of it for real.
Yeah. I agree with him on that. It's just the hustling side, you know what I mean? Detroit folks always been like hella ambitious, you know what I mean? That's stuck with us since the beginning of time. You even look at Berry Gordy and what Motown them did. He kicked it off. He gave us the blueprint of how to even, you know what I mean, run a label and stick true to your sound and what you got going on. At the time when them dudes was making that music, the rest of the world wasn't really making them type of songs, especially like when the Temptations got them making songs like Psychedelic Shack and all that. Them sticking to their sound played a part in that shit being big. So I think it don't matter where you from though, wherever you from, I think it's important you stay true to your roots. It's gonna win in the end.
Brother, let me ask you a question. So you was an independent artist, then you went to a major, then back to indie, right?
Yeah.
So talk about your journey. What's the difference? I'm sure there's artists here. What's the advantages of being independent? What's the advantages of being on the major? And, what's your perspective on seeing both sides of the coin?
So the first time, I'm gonna be 100, I signed to a major label because I needed some money. You know what I'm saying? I had just came home from prison or whatever. But so to a rapper, signing to a major label is like a basketball player going to the NBA. That's what it felt like to us, having a major deal. However, it's two totally different things. You know, I had it in my mind that once I go to a major label, I'm gone. I'm out. It's over. I made it. I'm gonna be big. But it don't work like that. Unfortunately, you still got to put the exact same grind in, the same hustle, if not even more. And it's less beneficial financially. You know, it make more sense to stay independent, especially if you're a hustler.
Talk about the transition. Social media has played a big role in your career. Yeah. I mean, I remember Vine was a thing.
Yeah, for sure it was.
And you were big on Vine.
Yeah.
And then Vine no longer existed and Instagram became something that you had to use. Talk about studying social media and using it to your advantage.
Definitely. Yeah, Vine, like, it was only 6-second video. That's why I talk fast to this day, because you had to be funny in 6 seconds. So that's why I still talk fast.
Yeah.
But social media, I just learned what my fan base wanted. Like, I just kept beating certain things into their head. Like, some people might love the guard. Some might love Finna Be a Breeze. Some like Beyond Me. But I was a catchphrase king. Whether you thought I was the funniest guy or not, people just gravitated to certain things that I was doing from my catchphrase. So I just studied the fans. And once I realized what it was that they wanted, I just kept on doing it. And then the followers just kept on building up from that.
Yeah, I got a quick follow-up on that, because when I'm listening to Vezo, he's like, I made that first $1 million, or I signed my contract. Being on social media, what was the moment? Was it like I saw somebody post me? Like, because at this point, I feel like you might be running Snoop Dogg's page.
No, no, Snoop Dogg, he just a genuine person. He taught me that how to be genuine. Like, he just always showed me that love since 2015. But yeah, it was Snoop Dogg that really took my career to the next level for sure. Definitely. Like, he found me in 2015, came out to the east side of Detroit, and ever since then, he been rocking with me. Yeah.
Vezo, let me ask you this. As far as you talked about, it's more beneficial to be an independent artist, but what are some things that people don't really think about when they think that, you know, they're going independent? I know you got to promote your music yourselves. You got to put a lot of money into it. You got to invest in it. So Absolutely. What are some things that people might not be considering on the independent side?
I mean, the most important part is what you said. You have to spend that money. You really genuinely gotta invest in yourself. You know what I mean? If you spend a little bit, that's what you're gonna get out of it. If you spend way more, you spend a lot of money, you're gonna get a lot out of it. But it's more than just dumping a bunch of money in there. You gotta put the work ethic behind it, and you can't spend money frivolously. You know what I mean? You gotta make sure everything adding up, making sense. I really thought that it was gonna be a huge difference signing to a major, but honestly, bro, it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, everything a major do is huge. They do it big. They go in all the way. But that only come after the artist put that first part of their grind in, put that initial grind in. And I feel like at that point, once you do the legwork to where you got a brand and you got a name and you making a couple dollars, it really don't make sense to go to a major. Certain artists, yes, it makes sense. Like, for me, I think like R&B artists or rock artists and pop artists, it makes sense for them to be with majors. But people that's in my type of genre, the music I make, it's really no difference. You know what I mean? It's the same amount of work. However, you just coming out of your own pocket. But when you make the money back, you're seeing way more than what you would have made back if you wasn't investing your own cheese.
So, like, what's the most beneficial way to spend money? Like, is it to pay DJs? Is it to, like, how is it a feature? Is it a producer? Like, what do you think the most beneficial way for an artist to spend their money?
Without a doubt, is marketing. Period. You know, I think you need to get a team around you, and you got to pay the folks you got around you. You know, you get you a big, strong team around you, and everybody work, everybody attack what they good at, you know, and go with whatever their attribute is, and you dump the money into the people around you and let them do the work, you know, all while you doing the work as well. But for sure, it's marketing, promotion, you know, that's the main thing.
Let's talk about creating the skit,
yeah,
right? Because I watched them, the voiceovers. It takes time, man. Let's talk about the amount of work that goes into you creating, right? Is it something that you're doing every day? Is it something that you're sitting down, you're writing it, or you're working with writers? what is that process like for you?
To be honest, I've never written a skit. I really just cut the camera on and I just go. But like, if I'm getting ready to be on the road for a while and I know I'm getting ready to go on tour or something, I film 5 to 10 skits or 20 skits that I can just put up while I'm on the road. Like, okay, I ain't putting nothing up in 5 or 6 days. I know the people want to see something, I just put that out. But the process that go into it is really just me cutting on the camera. I mean, the voiceovers is probably the hardest work. It's probably awkward because a lot of the videos be silent, and then they be like, "What are you doing?" But then I gotta put the voiceover on, so it's like an awkward humor. But once I put the voiceover on it, it come to life.
You've become a full director when you
Absolutely.
look at some of these skits.
Definitely.
You said something. I don't want that to go over people's heads. You said when I'm going on tour.
Yeah.
We can't take that lightly. Like, we've watched comedians, we've watched people do sketches on social media,
Definitely.
and they can't transition to the next thing.
Yeah.
Because being on stage in front of a crowd is totally different than being in your basement making a skit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Talk about that, man, because that's an incredible feat.
No, yeah, the stand-up thing is totally different. When I first started doing stand-up in 2015, I thought just because I was famous that I could do stand-up. But man, I tell you, you could have heard. Can I cuss on here? Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's 21 and over, don't worry.
All right, cool. But when I first started doing stand-up, you could have heard two mics having sex. It was so silent in there. And then I started to go back to the comedy club. I was like, no, I really want to be funny for real. I ain't just want to be social media funny. But now that I'm 8 years in with stand-up, it took me 8 years just to get my stand-up where it is now. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely a hard process. That stage, because like with the skits, I can go back and reshoot that. On the stage, it's like right now, you got to be funny right now. Like how people standing me right now, you got to be funny right now. Or they not coming back to see you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the difference.
So, Vezo, let me ask you this. As far as a label owner, what was your process in starting a label, and what some of the challenges, as opposed, an artist is one thing, but managing people and signing artists is a whole different thing. So what's that look like for you being a label owner?
Managing people that's the hardest part of owning a record label. You know what I mean? It's hard to get other artists and other people to kind of think on the level that you own, but just to think, more. I don't know. It's hard getting people to just be on the same page, bro. You gotta worry about accounting for what people do when you're not around them. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm worried about my artists getting in trouble, what they got going on in the streets and all that type of shit. That's the hardest thing to that shit, bro, is just dealing with artists. You know what I mean? Like, worrying about everything they got going on pretty much become your problem. But as a boss, you got to be prepared for that. You know what I mean? You got to be prepared to help guide people throughout their everyday problems in their everyday life, because that shit always fall over into the business side of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
You said that, and this is for both of you, you said that Detroit has a sense of hustle and there's a sense of entrepreneurship here. So I'm wondering, outside of the music and outside of the entertainment spaces, what are the entrepreneurial journeys that you're looking at? Is investing in real estate? Like, what are some of the things that y'all have looked at over the past 5 years since the ascension of your careers?
It's definitely real estate, and I think real estate is really like the biggest form of income outside of what I already do. You know what I mean? Because like I always tell my manager, like, I ain't gonna be pretty forever. I'm gonna have to need something to fall back on. You know what I mean? This ain't gonna last forever. So when this is over, I want to have something to, you know what I mean, fall back on.
Yeah, for me, I fuck with the real estate, but my second biggest stream income outside of music is movies. I produce movies and I act in them as well. Me and my wife just opened up a juice bar too called Fresh and Press.
Amazing.
I mean, so that's a good market to be in. And the reason why I wanted to invest in that, because it's something that she really likes. She really love it. It wasn't just a money grab. It's something that's genuinely in her heart. She really got the insight and the knowledge about that. And I think that's important when you investing in businesses. You don't want to just do shit just to do it. You want to be able to do something that you're gonna be interested in, that you got the drive there to actually grow that business. Because if it ain't no drive there for that business or whatever it is, then to me, I feel like it wouldn't work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We met your wife yesterday, and we tasted the product. The juices is amazing. What's that process as far as working with your spouse? That's something that a lot of times people will like stay away from that. Like, don't mix a relationship and business. You obviously have done that. So what's your thought process in that?
I just stay out of her way, man. I let her do what she got to do. I believe in her, you know what I'm saying? I trust her decisions. I trust her judgment, her opinions, everything that she got going on. I fully believe in her. It's not just the business that she chose to invest in. I'm investing in her as a human being, you know? So whatever she got going on, I know it's going to work because she trusts in me as well, you know?
Yeah, that's right. It's that trust word. That's what got me was the word trust. I got to build that trust up too. I like that word trust. I like that.
So how you buying real estate in Detroit?
Yeah, well, right now, me and my team, we focusing on buying a comedy club. We're trying to open up a comedy club in the D. I mean, like you say, it got to be something that your heart is truly invested in. And, you know, I do comedy, so obviously I always be in a comedy club, and I know I'm going to put 110% in it, so definitely.
Yeah, so when you got the comedy club, Vezo, you got the label. When you're looking for the next set of talent or the next entrepreneur, what are the things that you're looking for in the comedian, in the artist to say, like, that's somebody special, that's somebody we need to invest in them and watch their future blossom?
I'm looking for dedication. You know what I'm saying? That hustle, that ambition, and that drive. That's what I look for.
Yeah, definitely. Like somebody who just, no matter what's going on, or if you at 2 million followers or 3 million followers, you still got that same grind before anybody even knew your name. Like I still got that same grind before anybody knew me as HaHa. It was like, you can ask anybody that know me. Some days I wake up and I be losing my mind. Like I got to put out content, even though I know I'm big already. That don't even sit in my mind. I be like, I need to put out content. I got somewhere I want to be. You know what I mean? It ain't never been about who I was today. I got to put this time in for who I want to be in the future.
You're not trying to be in that basement anymore.
No, I can't go back to that basement. Them basement days is over.
Hey, I really watched bro come up in real life. Like, no, in real life. When him and Snoop met, when he said they was on 8 Mile, I was with him that day.
No, facts,
I watched him come up. He had the same mindset, the same drive, the same plan, and most importantly, he was the same person.
Yes, sir.
That's why bro still turned. That's why he's successful, because he stayed humble.
All right, so this is the interesting. This is interesting, right? So you've watched his journey. I wonder, is it the same team around? Because a lot of times as we ascend, right, there might be new people that come into it that can add to it. There might be people that are no longer a part of it.
Yeah.
What was the team like when you started? Are they still around? Like how do y'all manage that?
Yeah, the team's still around. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people you gotta let go, because a lot of times people get money hungry. A lot of times people try to snake you out. You know what I mean? But the people who was loyal to me, they still here today. But a lot of people have come and went too at the same time.
My manager right there, she been my manager since I started rapping.
That's fire.
She's still here. But like bro say, like, you know, well, you don't never owe anybody nothing. That's what y'all always got to remember. As soon as y'all get some paper, you're not obligated to stay with nobody. If that relationship don't make sense, if that business don't make sense, then get rid of it. You will fall with them if you feel like you owe anybody anything. You got to think for yourself. You got to think for your future. You got to think for your family and your kids and all them. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times with me, I seen me having a couple dollars. It didn't really change me. It really changed the people that was around me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get rid of a lot of motherfuckers.
That's real.
So let me ask you this: as far as Detroit, right? Somebody said yesterday to us, it was like the comeback city. And I was like, what do you mean the comebacks? I didn't really understand it. And they were saying, like, you know, it had a lot of adversity. People counted it out, but now it's on the rise again.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on the current state of Detroit, and where do you see the city going?
For me, I think the city coming back. Like, even with our downtown, you see the downtown on fire. The Detroit Lions, I know we finna do this year. Our football team is back. You know what I mean? Even with the rap game, the Detroit rap scene is on top right now. Like, me watching Vezo, Peasy, Babyface, all them rap for 5 to 10 years, and they finally getting they just due, man. That's powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Detroit rap scene is finally getting they just due. Any state I go to, I hear Vezo, I hear Peasy, I hear Babyface, I hear all of them really on top. So for me, that's what I feel. I feel like that's what's bringing Detroit back right now.
What's your thoughts, bro?
I feel the same way. I think Detroit turned right now. You know, I think we're on a good path. We just got to stick to it. You know what I mean? We got a lot. It's always room to grow for any city, any business. It's always room to grow. But for the most part, we doing what we supposed to do. And it's only going to get bigger. You know what I'm saying? We came a long way, bro. A real long way.
This is true. I wonder when y'all watch the rap scene, right? When you talk about all these artists, you said PZ, Babyface, even Sean and M. Well, y'all watching other cities saying, look, they didn't do it right, they didn't work together. This is what we can do to make sure that we represent our city and make sure that the world can recognize us as a city. Like, are y'all working together on that level of thought?
We for sure was thinking like that. Me, Peasy, and Ray, we used to be a rap group called Team Eastside. You know
heard about that, yes.
Yeah, we was a rap group. We rapped together for some years, and we set out a plan, and everything that we doing now, we talked about it. We wrote it down, you know what I mean? We had meetings about it. We made it happen. I always look for what the person before me had done wrong, so I can not do the same thing that they did. You know what I mean? So I think it's important that you look at what somebody else ain't doing right, so you don't make the same mistake.